Okay, I pushed the thing that says I'm live. Okay, we are starting today on part 3 of Twitch messaging interface. This is my 60th stream, and if you're watching live, there's a link below to my notebook, and if you're watching on YouTube, there ought to be a link to my Twitch channel. I should put one in the YouTube just to make sure. I don't remember if I did. But you should check out my channel. I have links to my notebook. I like to start off showing a page I make for every stream. It shows my plan, my notes, and stuff like that. And if you're interested in some of my background research, like what I had to look up to learn how to make a Twitch bot, at least Twitch specific stuff, you can check out the research tab. So one announcement, I think I had this on the last stream, but I forgot to talk about it. Until now, I've been sort of immediately exporting my VODs over to YouTube as soon as I was wrapping up my stream. But someone showed me that in the contract when you become a Twitch affiliate, which I am, you agree that Twitch, did I say YouTube affiliate? No, I'm a Twitch affiliate. The Twitch affiliate agreement says that you give them like complete rights and control for 24 hours and you're not allowed to let anyone else use it. And I thought that was kind of odd because Twitch does have... Oh, hey there, Rally Monkey. Yeah, Twitch has this export feature, and they let me hit it right away after I stopped streaming, which is weird. So anyway, want to follow the contract. So what I'm going to be doing from now on is like waiting a day before exporting to YouTube. But you can always go to my Twitch channel and look at the VOD there right away. So, that announcement out of the way. 2 streams ago, I started this class called Twitch Messaging, which is for interfacing with Twitch chat. Looks like you have to watch a lot of ads to get enough bits to take the lead. I still haven't looked into that. How do you get bits by watching ads? Because sure, I'll watch some ads to get bits. Why not? Yeah, I started this Twitch messaging class to interface with Twitch chat 2 streams ago, and we're making progress. I think within the next stream or 2, we'll actually be talking to Twitch chat, and I'll have a bot interacting in chat. But we have a little ways to go. So I was hoping to complete work on the base library, and then do the actual integration with the networking classes next after that. So I have up here in my plan to try to complete that class today, and I have links to the guide that I was using and also the base protocol for IRC, which Twitch chat is based on, and then also the capability negotiation, which we'll have to do to enable some of the Twitch specific features of chat. And the first thing I have in my notes here is that once you enable, I think, the tags capability, you get these long strings that come before the message prefix, which is here. And there's a lot of info in here that we might want, including what icons to show in front of the username. So that would be like whether it's a broadcaster, whether it's a subscriber or not. The color to use to show the user's name. And then if the case is different, like some of the letters are uppercase, it's in the display name, I believe. And then emote sets, I think that says what emotes that user, if it's yourself, can use. So if you're really Twitch tech savvy, you could probably take those numbers and figure out what channels I'm subscribed to, which is fine. So yeah, we won't be seeing these long strings which have all that nice information until we implement this capability negotiation to enable it. I think I want to right away just add support for that in the class that I had been writing to parse messages, just to get it out of the way. And let me go briefly look at that and we'll go back to the plan. So that was in this get next message, I think, where it assumes that the first character could be the prefix or the command. So we're going to need to actually add some extra states to look for, if we see this @ sign, then it's this thing before the prefix. So what do we call that? Prefix? I was thinking of just calling it tags. So there might be tags, and then might be a prefix, and then there's the command and then the arguments, right? So I might just add to the parsing support for that, even if I don't get to the capability negotiation right away. So the blog from last time was sort of sparse, and so I kind of went into more, what do you say, more of a echoing my research mode preparation for this stream. So I have listed here, actually this I kind of folded into all of this. I kind of looked ahead to see what kinds of messages and commands we're going to want to support. So these two, as a group, we'll kind of want to know if we want the library to get a list of the people who are already in the channel when we arrive. And I'm actually not sure if this command really works. I've heard that it's unreliable, that you have to just wait until you get all of the joins and parts, which you get later, in order to find out who's in the channel. But we'll see if this actually works. So you get these commands in response to sending the a special command. I think it's names. And then we'll probably want to support this in case we have a bug. We'll want our class to get help from the server. When the server says we sent something wrong, we'll want to see that. And then here briefly, all the commands that I think we'll want to support. It's pretty broad, so maybe at first we'll just try out these. I think these are the minimal ones that we'll need to actually get the Twitch bot working. So ping, we have to support that because if we don't pong back, the server can disconnect us. Notice is pretty important. It will say things like whether or not login was successful. And then priv message or private message, it's not really named. The name doesn't really fit the modern usage of it. It's the bulk does the bulk of the work of sending you all the chat. So once we support that command, we'll be able to receive chats. And then whisper, it will be able to receive whispers. And then the priv message also goes in the other direction. When we want our bot to actually chat in the channel, we'll be sending a priv message to the channel. And we'll at least need to support join for our bot to join the chat channel, but we can also support receiving it to know if other people have come in too. And all these other ones are sort of icing on the cake that maybe I'll do later once I have it actually talking to Twitch. Things like knowing who's the operator in the channel, right? And then whether or not we're being hosted or we're hosting someone else. Whether or not someone has just subbed. And other things like what are your own badges, right? My MathBot 2001 will be like, badges? We don't need no badges. So yeah, at first it's not going to care about what its own badges are. And then just a side note, I don't know if we'll get to it today, but this is the result of some research earlier. The Twitch guys kind of hid away how to send whispers because they don't really want you to do it, but I don't know. Don't see why. I can't talk about it. It's on they publish it publicly in their forums, so you actually send a special message to a special chat room, and then it results in sending a whisper to the person. It's this JTV channel, which you can't normally chat on, but if you send a chat formatted exactly like this, where actually you can have a dot or a / for the W, it will send a whisper with this content to this user. So, all that out of the way, let's get started. So let's see where I was working yesterday. I think if I expand everything here, I had handled all of the test cases about login and log out. Oh yeah, right. There were some extra tests we wanted to add for completeness. I'm actually thinking we'll just push on and implement sending and receive messages first. And then I think we'll need to minimally support ping. Otherwise we'll get disconnected from the real server. Then actually we might have enough to work on the integration layer and a little test bot to actually join chat and talk. So we'll see. So receive messages. Let's do that. So this will start out by logging in. We have this login helper. And I think in some of these other tests I actually have a comment. Say first login or something like that. Right. Login normally before the test begins. So we'll say that thing here. And now we'll have the pretend Twitch server simulate someone else chatting in the room. Actually, don't we have to join before we can receive a message, right? So maybe this is a little premature to do receive messages. Maybe we have to do a join first. Join channel. And then let me leave some room here for leave channel. I don't know if I'll get to that now, but let me put in a to-do marker here so that I can not lose the fact that haven't finished some of these tests. Needs to be implemented. Okay, there we go. I'll leave a marker here because I'm going to stop on that for now and we'll do join channel first. Start out the same way. And then we will attempt to join an example channel. Or just a channel. And I expect attempt to join a channel. Wait for the mock server to receive the join command. And then have it issue back the expected responses. Question is, when we attempt to join a channel, do we want it to be, it's going to be asynchronous, but do we want, I guess it could fail or it could succeed. So we kind of want to have like an indication back to the user. Well, that leads me into another thought. Probably should have put it in these notes, but we're going to have a lot of different events that can happen. And right now, if you look at the messaging class, there are individual functions registered to be called back when certain things happen, but if we implement all this stuff, that's going to be a lot of setup with delegates. It crosses the line for me where I want to go from individual setting up of delegates to just setting up a class, an interface. So we need to do that, but let's do the join first. Yeah, why not? And I guess we'll just be naive about it and we'll just not have any callback. So to attempt to join the Twitch channel, it would be something like join. And foobar, why not, right? I don't think there is. Is there a foobar Twitch channel? I want to pick something that doesn't actually exist. Okay, there's a foobar. How about foobar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, how about foobar 1, 1, 2, 2? Sorry, that doesn't exist. Okay, go. Good. I want to pick someone that doesn't exist yet. So that no one looking at this code will actually go and try to join such channels. And then, let's see, probably similar to this, how the login works, we'll have to do some waiting. Not the log out. Log in. Expand everything here. Yeah, this await thing I think we'll want. And then some of this return to client stuff we'll want. Okay, so await, we'll do await. What do we expect for a join? I didn't have it in that window. Where did I have it? Okay, yeah, I had it off screen somewhere. Yeah. So here's the kinds of things that you get. You just show it here. So left means what the client is sending, and then right is what's sent back. So we expect it to be a join and then hash code and then the channel name. We have this expectation for lines received. I think I'll leverage that rather than well, hold on. Yeah, let's do something sort of similar. We'll await line received, and then we'll just put literally what we expect to see. Expect to see a join hash foobar 1122, right? And then we will we don't need to do that. When they send the join, we need to send back this join. I think that sort of confirms that you've joined. I don't know if we need to send this. This is like the names list. Usually, when I was reading the IRC document, it looked like this is really only sent when you explicitly ask for the names. So maybe we'll just ignore those for now. And, okay, there's a user state, room state, and then this is because when I was testing, I happened to be hosting someone. So let's see, we will have it send without the badges. Okay. Right, it's going to be whoever they logged in as, and I forgot. I think, did I say Ninja? Maybe we should change that. We should pick a user that doesn't exist. Actually, what if we just use foobar1122 because they don't exist yet? So we'll have foobar1122 pretend to be Twitch user, and they're here. They're sort of joining their own channel, right? And so the format is like this. Only instead of me, it's this fictional user. And the reason why it's 3 times, it's legacy from IRC. I think it has to do with user and account and host, I think. And then which channel they joined. I'm kind of worried that we have the username being the same as the channel name. What if I'm just going to quickly look and see if there's a foobar. Is there a foobar 1123? There is. There's no 1122, but there is a 1123. How about 1124? Or 1125? Okay, cool. So we're going to use 1124 and 1125. Oops. 5. I just want the username to differ from the channel name because I want to see both of them on that line. Cool. And then what else? I think I said I was going to skip that. I guess this other stuff doesn't really matter for joining the room, right? So maybe that's all that we will actually wait for, or specify the server should respond with. And actually, do we even need? Right now, we said there's not going to be a callback for join if it succeeds. Okay. Let me add that. This will be temporary because I'm going to be replacing these delegates with functions, so I'm just going to add the type and not bother with the documentation for now. This will be the join delegate. Do we want to say what we joined? Sure. So similarly here. Actually, this is reused, right? So it's not just the channel, but it's also the user. So something like this. Join delegate. Okay, and then the test will wait for that. Something like this. Join channel. Join user. This one has parameters. Like that. And then where's that wait part? I think, yeah, right here. And again, the reason why I'm doing these waits is this call is not synchronous, it's asynchronous. And this one's also asynchronous. So we have to wait. We can't expect it to be joined immediately. So we wait up to a reasonable amount of time for the test. And then we expect... Actually, why don't we not only expect but assert, because there's no need to expect the other things if we don't get the call at all. I want to expect what we... Is it expected comma actual? For some reason I'm not remembering it right now. Expected comma actual, yeah. Okay, so what we expect is foobar1125. The actual is join channel. And the user is this one. Okay, so it won't compile at first. I should have mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm using test-driven development, so that's why right now I'm building up the test first, and once I get the test working, it'll fail. It work as in build and run. It'll run, but it'll fail until we actually write the code for things. So even to get it to compile, we have to at least provide a skeletal join. Like right here. And right here. This method starts the process of joining a Twitch channel, chat channel. This is the name of the channel to join. Then we have to make a body for that. But as you can see from its neighbor logout, where it's going to follow a pretty standard pattern that we've established so far, where we have a worker thread that has a queue of actions, and we're just queuing what we wanted to do here. So join, and I was just thinking, is join the right? Because there's gonna be two kinds of join. That's where we want to join, and then the other one where we receive back a join notification. How about we'll say it's join and joined. Okay, there is no channel in message, but can we use something else here? How about if we reuse nickname? Hold on. One of my windows is obscured on the left here. The Rally Monkey, you're saying, is it still early enough in my process of making a Twitch spot for people to follow along starting with this stream? Or would you suggest that they look at archive streams? I don't know. Depends on how familiar you are with C++ and Twitch API in IRC. So if you're not at all, I suggest going back 2 streams. So that's like 4 hours of catch up, which might be a lot. But if people want me to give a short recap, I can. But I'm just gonna hope that it's still early enough along that you can kind of follow along. So this action structure kind of carries the arguments for things. I'm thinking I'll kind of want to reuse nickname, and we will say it like this: to provide the client with nickname with a nickname associated with the command. With the primary nickname. Hey, Axel Ghost. Hello, that bot for Twitch, what purpose does it have? So, the first bot I was planning to make would just be a fun little toy. It would do something like this. So, it would say something like, it would be called MathBot 2001. It would say, what is 3 times 5 plus 2? And then if someone were to answer 42, MathBot 2000, what would it say be set? Sorry, remove 8354, that's not right. Not the correct answer. I don't know about this. This might end up being too much spam if too many people reply right away. If Axel Ghost 98, of course, answers the correct answer, MathBot would say, congratulations. So Ghost 98, that's correct. You now have 1,056 points. Something like that, right? And it would just be a fun little thing that I could just throw into the chat and see how it goes. So I already had this in my web server. I developed a web server over the last, not the last streams, but like last month, pretty much. And one of the first extensions I built into my web server was a bot that would do exactly this. But it's limited to my web server, which is not integrated with Twitch. And so I felt, well, if I get it all the way into Twitch chat, then I think people would like it. But that's probably not what I'll stop with. I might actually replace the Stream Elements bot. Sorry, Stream Elements, but if I have my own bot, why not just use that for everything, right? So, but right now we're building the base class, so to speak, that you could use not just for a bot, but any kind of app that you want to interact with Twitch chat. So I should probably point that out in my notes, is that this is the work I'm doing right now. It's not just for bots, but any kind of API. So if, like, for example, if you go to the Twitch developer page and you go to the getting started here under chatbots and IRC, they talk about Twitch TMI.js. I'm kind of doing this, but in C++. So hopefully, by the time I'm done in the next couple streams, you could take this guide and instead of using TMI.js, if you instead use my library and did it in C++, you could essentially do the same code, the same example, but it would be in C++. So we're going to add join. We're going to say join a chat room. And then I was going to reuse nickname for that, right? Okay, so we need to add a case for that. This is quickly getting out of hand with cases. So I think at the top of my list of refactoring would be to extract functions for each of these cases. But I want to get this in. So how do we join? Right. What if we don't have a connection? So that's maybe a test we need to have. Let me put that in as something to be implemented later. the join channel when not connected. For now, we'll just assume they're connected, okay? And I think it's just as simple as doing something like this. Send join hash and then nickname. And that's 1/2 of it. So the join is done. Then when the server sends back something like this, we're going to expect that we get this join delegate called. So, okay, let's first things first. Let's do this await line received. Similar to this await nickname, I think. So here, nickname, how about join? Joins. So we'll have a vector of joins. How about that? Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't even need, no, it doesn't even need to be that elaborate yet. We can say a join received. Make that a Boolean, right? And we already had some very basic parsing here to do that. Oops. We have to, because something else is waiting for it, we have to notify a condition variable, and in order to do that, we need to grab the same lock that's used to wait on the condition. Alright, so that's that. Oh, hold on. I was going to make it generic. I see. Okay, so it's not really join received. How do we want to phrase this? I know. It will just do a search. So return lines received dot find. This needed to have the line though in it, right? And which means we'll have to capture it here. Find line is not equal to lines received end. There's no find. Oh, right. I ran into this before and someone told me very good suggestion, which is just to use standard find. Which means we need to include algorithm. Doesn't match that list. Oh, that's because, yeah. Well, this is getting a little bit longer, so let's expand it. It's a range, so we have to say from beginning to end. So in order for this to work, whenever we receive a new line, which is down here. Okay, we don't need to do this join thing. But what we do need to do is do a signal when that happens. So let's just lock it up here. And we'll just wake down here, and we don't need to do this. How about that? Okay, let's try that out. At least to see if it builds. So to run our tests, it's twitch test debug twitch tests. Oh, and it's not building because, oh, I'm missing the set join delegate from there. So yeah, at first we're just going to do nothing just to get it to build and see the test fail. Twitch test debug twitch tests. Right, so it fails. We didn't get a join. Right, so let's handle the joins. And again, I'm not documenting this because I plan to very soon replace these delegates with just one class interface. Okay, so we're going to handle that when we receive a message. Where is that? Process message received. Here we go. So let's put it in there. Else if message.command equals join. All right, it's a little bit complicated by the fact that the nickname is embedded in things a little bit, right? So the nickname's embedded in here. So what we're going to do, I think, is expect there to be a prefix and then just go to the exclamation mark or bang, and then we'll make that the nick. And then this is the channel. The channel will be expected to be the one and only argument of join. So if prefix, well, nickname delimiter is message.prefix.find the bang character, right? We want to go up to but not including that, and it might be the no position. Okay, I need to look this up. What? No, I don't need to look it up. I think I remember. If it is the string no position, then I think we'll just drop the message. Other words, the nickname is the part of that prefix from 0, and then the number of characters is that value, nickname delimiter. Okay, and another reason to actually leave early. Do we want to do that first? Yeah, why not? So we'll say if message dot parameters dot size is less than 1, because we need at least one parameter. And so actually there's two conditions, right? Message.parameters length is less than 1, less than 2. Because one character is the hash mark. So the channel is message.parameters substring starting with the second character. Right, now if join delegate, not null, then we're going to call it. And it wanted was it nickname first? I can't remember. Channel first and then user. So channel, nickname. I'm kind of using nickname and user interchangeably here. Let's see if this allows the test to pass. Good. All right, so we can now join a channel. So I think I'm going to check that in, and then I'm going to refactor these delegates into an interface. So let's do the let's do the check-in first. So Twitch, not IG, get GUI. And this is, yeah, I'll put that in the check-in comments that this is partly work in progress. Right, that was just refactoring stuff out there. Oh, wait a minute, there's two notifies. I shouldn't do that. We factored it out so that we always wake up the worker thread whenever we receive a line. Because we now have a wait. Right, and then we'll just roll that that change in silently. So messaging. add ability to join a channel. And it's pretty naive right now because there's no check upon failure. I actually don't know what happens if you try to join a channel and it doesn't exist, because I've not experimented with that. Okay. Let's do some refactoring. So refactoring in test-driven development is pretty simple. Don't touch the tests. You're only allowed to touch the code. If you have to change any of the tests, then it's not refactoring. Actually, that means we're not going to be doing refactoring because all the tests are going to be calling these set delegate functions, right? Not there, but these ones I want to keep. But these logged in delegates are all changing. So it's not a refactoring. It's a feature change or new feature. API change. So to support that API change, we're going to need another support object. It's not going to be a mock, really. It's the receiver of callbacks. So we'll call it... I think I'm going to call the base class Twitch messaging user, because that's kind of a convention I like to have. Like, if you have a class and that class needs another class to represent the upper level, I like to call it upper level the user subclass. I don't know if people like that or not, but it's sort of the convention I'm used to. And then since that name user to me means the upper level, then I like, within the scope of this test or test messaging, I'll just call it user, and we'll say that this represents the user of the unit under test and receives all notifications, events, and other callbacks from the unit under test. All right, so this doesn't exist yet, but let me finish the code for the class first. So let's assume that we're going to have the same things that we have for delegates in the messaging class now. So 2 functions that don't have any return value or arguments, logged in and logged out, and then one for join. So we just copy these. Actually, this whole thing. And this will be join override, because it's going to be overriding this interface class's pure virtual method, and then the 2 other ones, right? Log in and log out. So I'm intending these methods of this interface class to replace these 3 delegates. So what the framework will do is it'll have one of these in the fixture. So we'll put it here. And it'll say this... hold on, 2 things. My brain stopped because I'm like, oh, I need to do something else here too. This represents... Actually, I can just repeat this text here. Some people might think it's sort of dumb for me to copy documentation so it's in 2 places. The way I see it, though, is if you're reading and you're just in this area, even though it's the same text as elsewhere, it's kind of nice to see it close to the thing itself. Even if I have to repeat it, it's better than having something that says see the user class. Because I hate following breadcrumbs like that. I like to have it pretty close. And I think it's okay on a small scale. When it gets really big, then you want to sort of separate by having references, like one document referring to another. But this small scope, I like to keep it pretty close, even if there's some repetition. So the other thing I needed to do is I need to make it a shared pointer, because it's shared between this test and the messaging class. They're both going to share this object which represents the interface back. And we might as well make one here. All right, and then wherever we have a set logged in delegate, we're going to need to move this logic into that user class. So I will just move this property into that user class, separating the sections that have properties and methods, right? So there's the logged in, and I think another for log out we had logged out, right? And another for join we had joined, and it was like join channel, join user, yeah. Although later we're going to be receiving multiple joins, so it actually might make sense right now to, instead of having just one channel, one user, and one flag, that we make it a vector. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll have a vector called a join info. We'll have a vector of join infos, right? And this will be channel and user. Say this contains all the information received for a single join callback. This is the channel where the user joined, and this is the nickname of the user who joined. All right, so we're going to have, instead of this bool, we will have a vector of join infos called joins. Make sure include vector, right? And then also we need to have these conditions, right? I think for this test framework, or this test implementation, I'm not going to fully document every property like I usually do, because normally I would do that for all the code, but if it's in the test, it's like, well, I don't know if it's, I'm on the fence about whether I should document these individual properties. They might be self-evident enough that I don't need to document them. So, oh yeah, we can copy some of this over, right? And this is logged out. And some of this is the same, although what we had before was just a joined equals true. This is a little bit more, so we will do a join info, channel equals channel, user equals user, and then join, hold on. And that, folks, is the little overlay I do when my dog decides to bark at someone. So you don't have to endure the barking. All right. Also, I'll do that if I am like having to talk to someone behind me occasionally. Okay, so right, we're going to for this convenience method, how about what we'll do is we'll make another user for the login. Make shared user. And then we're going to be changing the set logged in delegate to set user. And all this is now encapsulated within that user object. And then I think what we'll do, just for convenience, is pull this out into a method of our user. Right here. Await login. And we'll just have it return. And instead of capturing that, we can capture this. And then I'll have the same thing for our log out, because I know we'll need that. Okay, so this is replaced by user for login, await login. And we don't care what it returns, right? Okay. Now this set user, let me think about this. This is a convenience function. I made a different user than the one from the framework, because this is sort of like a this login. I don't want that login effect to appear in the fixture, but maybe I don't care. Actually, I don't. So what I'll do, instead of doing that there, in the setup, I'll just do it here. And I'll just say user. And then this becomes just user. How about that? It's just now that if you call the login function, you should expect the logged in flag to stay true. Okay, so this all goes away, right? And it's just expect false user await login. And then it becomes true after the server sends the message of the day. Okay, and all this gets replaced by this, assert true, user await log out. Okay. Now this is how it gets a little bit different. Because we did a login and then set logged in to false, what we really want to do is peek into the user object and then reset the logged in. Because we're trying to log in a second time and we're asserting that the user actually tries to log in a second time. That was that test. Right? If you're already logged in, it shouldn't log in a second time. Okay. This gets replaced with this. Feels good to dump all this boilerplate code anyway. Yeah, and especially this one. This is setting both of them up. Log in, right? So this was assert false user await log out. Then advance the time with our pretend timekeeper, and then expect a true when we call it again. This becomes user logged in. Right, okay. And again, we can remove all this stuff. Gonna cheat a little. Instead of writing it again, I'll just copy it. Except for that's in. And that's an expect false. And then this one is an expect true log out. Okay. Instead of all this, we will assert true that user await join. Actually, here we can specifically have it wait for that. Well, how about we wait any join? Yeah, let's just have it await any join. But here we'll have to assert equal 1 user joins size, because we're going to be accessing that first one. So we need an await join. Await, kind of like await log in and out. I think what I'll do is we'll first grab the number of joins that there were before. Num joins before. And we'll wait for this to not equal num joins before, which we have to capture now. So capture that there. All right. Doing good, I think. We just need to have that set user, and we need to actually define the interface. So yeah, test-driven development can look a bit backwards because you write the tests first, and the tests are like using non-existent interfaces. And then to get the test to build, you have to define the interfaces. That's what we're doing next. So types, and so we're keeping the connection factor, but we're replacing these delegates with a class and say, this is the interface to be implemented by the user of this class in order to receive notifications, events, and other callbacks from the class. And that's class user, where everything is public. That's just the convention I use for an interface. And then, well, I can copy from the test now, at least this part. And this. And this. I have to document them now. Okay, this. Oh, actually, I have that below here now. This is, we'll say this is called to notify the user when the user agent has successfully logged into the Twitch server. I mentioned this yesterday, but this term user agent, I should put this in my notebook, but it refers to the class or the program which represents the user. In other words, it's a lower level component. And then user is either the human user or the next level up in the hierarchy or the stack, so to speak. So user is upper level, user agent is the lower level. That's just terminology I use. I don't know if other people use that or not, but it makes sense to me, so that's what I do. We'll say this. This is called when the user agent completes logging out of the Twitch server or when the connection is closed or could not be established in the first place, period. Okay, join. I didn't have a comment for that one. This is called whenever a user joins a channel. So even the user, or it could be a different user. This is the name of the channel the user joined. And this is the nickname of the user who joined the channel. All right, so that should clear up these red squigglies, so now they really are overriding something. And then the only thing we're missing is this set user. That will, like, now I can get rid of these delegates, right? So that set user will replace these delegate things. Shared pointer to user. Shared pointer, I need memory. I already have memory, okay. And we'll copy some of this documentation over. I'm going to change a bunch of it. This method is called to set up to set the object which will receive any notifications, events, or callbacks relevant to the user or interesting to the user, of interest to the user. And then this is user, and then I think I can steal this comment up here. This is the object provided by the user of the class in order to receive, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and then I can delete the set login, logout, join delegates, and just replace it with the set user. It's going to sit right above login. And be pretty simple. It's user equals user. Get rid of these guys. This replaces those delegates. And this can be copied to here. Get rid of the delegates. Actually, I have an idea here. What if, instead of making all the methods here pure virtual, what if we give a default implementation which does nothing? Then the user doesn't have to override them all. It can just override the ones it cares about. And we'll comment in here. This is the interface. By default, the base class provides, and this is actually not just an interface, is it? This is a base class and interface to be implemented, right? By default, the base class provides an implementation of each method which essentially does nothing. The derived class need not override methods it doesn't care about. Right? So then what we can do is we can actually make a default user so that even if they don't call the set user method, we'll have always a user. And then we can get rid of all the ifs, which it's a good thing. So let's go through all these red markers will tell us what we need to change. So yeah, we can get rid of this if. We can simply say user log out. Did I do that right? Yeah, I think I did. And then here, user log out. And this is user log in. And this is user join channel nickname. There we go. Let's test that sucker. Oh, I broke something. Await login failed. Line 426 of my tests. 426. Extra message of the day while already logged in. Oh, this is because I should put a comment here. Reset the logged in flag to make sure we'll be able to see if it gets set again when the extra message of the day is received. So user logged in false. I think the test used to do that and I just screwed it up when I changed the code there. Cool. Check it in. This is messaging, redesign user callback API. Rather than having the user register individual delegate callback functions, let the user, if they choose to, provide an object which will be, I forgot this doesn't wrap, which will be called when various notifications, events, and notifications or events happen. Notifications or events need to be published to the user. The user need not. There is a default user implementation, so the user need not override any or all of the actual callbacks. Actually, let me amend just to walk through, double check that I didn't screw something up. Oh, that's separate. Yeah, we want to unstage that. That was a separate fix. Join info. Oh, did I not check in the stuff about joins? Oh no, that was just part of this redesign. Okay, yeah, it was just part of that. Yeah, this is just replacing the delegates with the single user. Okay. Yep. Looks good. Looks good. Okay, and then yeah, and then this change was a separate one. So remove redundant wake condition notification. This was in messaging tests. All right, push that. Now, go back to what we need to implement next. Okay, join channel when not connected. We should have a test for that. So it's actually pretty simple. We just don't log in. We just try to join and we will expect false. We won't receive a join. Right? So of course this is going to fail. In fact, it's probably going to crash. It's going to use the non-existent connection object. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you get a crash. It'll say run and then, oh, we're done. Other times when it will crash, it will say that an exception was thrown that wasn't caught. Personally, I find these the most humorous because it broke the Google test framework. We no longer know how many tests ran or failed or passed. It just crashes. And we can see that if I have this set up for the Twitch test to run, I do, and I just hit go. What happened? Oh, here we go. Just it wasn't scrolled down enough. Read access violation, right? Because connection is empty. So let's fix that. I'll call it the equivalent of a test failure. So which means we're going to make the test pass by fixing the code. I think what we should do is if we're not connected, I think we should just ignore continue. We're in a case statement, not a loop, so it's just a break. And there we go. Back to passing. Okay, so messaging. What do we say? Ignore join when not connected. Next. When you get into a rhythm, it comes down to just mechanically going through, iteratively implementing test and then code, test and then code. So next test, leave channel. All right. I think what we want to do, we had a login helper. Let's have a login and join helper. So it will kind of look like this. Log in and join channel. Not sure about hard coding these names or not. Not sure if we're going to ever want to test having a different nick. I don't think so. So we can have this hard coded. For the channel we join, I don't want to hard code that because we might want to try to join multiple channels. In fact, I definitely will want to have it join multiple channels. And let me separate it so it's just join. Like that. So we'll have a join, and then how do we leave? I think this is how we leave. Attempt to leave a channel. Wait for the mock user to receive the, I think it's part command. Actually, should we call it part? What would a non-technical Twitch user expect the word to be? Leave or part? Probably leave, right? But we'll await that we get a part. And this is, again, something I didn't test, I don't think. Let me check. Do I have a part? I don't know if I tested this. Parting with a channel. I don't think so. So let me look at the guide here. Part, okay, here. Okay, we'll just follow what the guide says. So it looks like a join. Oh, I didn't notice this. So we're going to need to augment our test at some point to require the capability negotiation. Okay, anyway, part looks like pretty much like join, except for there's not going to be this side effect of a names list. It'll be just part. And then await part. Parts. Okay, so first join. Go near login. This is a convenience method which will perform all the necessary steps to join a chat channel. Or just say join a channel. How about that? And I'm just going to copy from the join channel test the same stuff without these expectations we don't need though. And all the expects in convenience methods go away. And I put a cast to void whenever I'm calling a function that returns something, and I want to explicitly state to the reader that we're ignoring the return value. So we're still going to wait for that join to come across because we need to do that before we send the response. But we don't care if the wait fails because this is just a convenience method. The actual testing of join will have been done in a separate test. Although I don't want to hard code these channel names, do I? That should do it. Does that return to client, return anything? Nope. All right. That's it for join. Now we need to leave. Or do we call it part at the API level? No, I wanted to call it leave. Starts the process of leaving. And this is the name of the channel to leave. And we went to the wrong place when I told it. If I go to log out. Okay, there. It's weird. When I right clicked on join and said go to definition, it went to the wrong join. It should have gone to this join. IntelliSense, getting confused. Alright. So this is just leave. We can go to this join and duplicate that. And then where we handle join, we'll handle leaving. Part. And then we need to handle the other direction too. So when the message comes in, where the messages? Right here, right? Yes. So it's a part. Got the same kinds of checks. And it'll be a leave. So that's not defined yet. So we're going to add it. This is called whenever a user leaves the channel. Name of the channel user left. Nickname the user who left the channel. Okay, so that should be leave, right? Oh wait, join. Num parts. Parts needs to be defined. Although it's going to be the same as join info, we'll just make a part info just to be very precise. Actually, we're calling it leave, aren't we? It's a leave callback, but I don't like saying leaves. Some author's freedom I'll employ here. I'll have leave and part be synonymous. So parts for part info. And then to get it, we need to override the leave. It's actually going to look just like the join, isn't it? Only it's leave. Part info. All right. Cool. Actually, I skipped a step, didn't I? I added a... Hold on. I implemented the body of leave before actually writing after writing the code. Well, I didn't, yeah. You know what I mean. This leave channel, I didn't complete this and run it to verify leave didn't work until after I wrote the code. So let me temporarily get rid of leave. Have it do nothing. And we should see that that breaks it. It never sends the leave. The other way we can test it is receiving back the part message. We can comment that out and see it break in a different way. It's just doing a sanity test. So yeah, breaks in a different way. Okay, cool. So what's next? Receive a message. Okay, for that, we're going to want to log in and join a channel. And have the pretend Twitch server simulate someone else chatting. So that's something like this, right? It's return to client, and then we'll have like, let me check. Is there a foobar1126 and it exists? Nope. Good. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid nicknames that actually exist. So instead of part, I think it's private message, and then it's the name of the room. Let me double check. Did I have that in here? No. Rev message. Yeah, there's a yeah. Probably would be better to just look at the guide. Yeah, here we go. So this is how you send a message, and then when you receive a message, it looks like that. So it looks just like all the other commands, pretty much. Only there's an additional argument, or really it's the last argument. Technically, there's only supposed to be one more argument, so we can just say it's argument 1. That's argument 0. That's argument 1, right? Yeah, because this in this format matches exactly that format. All right, so it's not going to be too difficult. It'll be something like hello world. And then we'll wait for the message to be received. So it will be expect true, or assert true really. User await message. And then assert, or yeah, assert equal 1 user messages size. I'm just sort of eyeballing up there. I should just copy paste. So the channel will be that, the user will be that, and then we're gonna have an extra thing, which is the message. Hello world. And it's not parts, it's messages. Right? Okay, so what do we need? Await message. In the user. Okay, num messages before. Then we need this messages. You know what I'm thinking of doing is not just declare the message info in this, but actually put it in Twitch messaging. Because I'm just thinking forward to where we're going to eventually have, where does it show it? When we have private messages with tags, we're going to have a bunch of stuff in here, and I'd like our messaging class to kind of parse that for us into these various bits. Not bits, but elements. No pun intended there, bits. And there might be stuff added to the API, and I don't want to have to change the number of parameters to the message callback. So it's easier to add stuff to a structure and just pass the structure in the API. So we'll expect Twitch messaging to define the structure for us. And I'm not going to do it for joins and leaves because I don't think those ever have those, that the kind of information is not so important, right? Actually, let me check. Yeah, I'm just looking at my example chat logs in the other window. I'm not seeing that join messages have badges, so that's provided separately. So yeah, joins and leaves are pretty bare, just channel and user. So I'm not going to bother with making structures out of the arguments. But for message, I'm gonna have a structure. So it's going to be const message info. And we don't need to do this actually. It makes this a little bit easier. Okay, so that which means we have to declare that in the interface. And give it a documentation. This is called whenever the user receives a message. What is it actually technically called? Message sent to a channel? Sent to a channel. And then I just messed this up, but I don't care because I'm replacing all this stuff. Message info. This contains all the information about the received message. Okay, we just need to define what that is. Let's do it here. I'm typo challenged today, like most days. This contains all the information about a message received in a channel. So we're going to start with just the channel, the user, and the message. And I'm going to copy some of the stuff I already typed around here somewhere. Right here. Just because it's a little bit faster. This is the channel in which the message was sent. Or to which. This is, oh, that should be to, not tip. This is the user who sent the message. This is the content of the message. Alrighty. That should build, but it won't actually do anything. It'll fail our test, right? Oh, no, I'm missing something. What did I do wrong here? I have a misspelling here. Oh, I think it's because this isn't. No, that shouldn't be fine. Oh no, it's in the parent class, so we actually have to say Twitch messaging message info. Yeah, that's what it was. Little weird thing. You wouldn't have to say what the namespace was if this structure here was inside of this class, because we're overloading that class. But since the structure is at this level, names at that level are not inherited by overloading that class, so we have to be explicit here. Anyway, it's building so we can see our test fail, right? Fails. We didn't get the message, so we will now add the code to get the message. So that's actually not that big a deal, right? It's similar to the joins and parts. It will be a priv message. And actually we expect at least 2 parameters. And the nickname's the one who sent it, right? The channel is the first parameter, and the Actually, I don't need to do these autos anymore because we're going to have a message info. And we're going to use that, right? This is going to be user. And that's the channel. And the message is the second parameters. And it's message info. Actually, you know what I'm inclined to do is, since this is always passing a temporary, we could avoid a copy if we set the API to receive an R value reference. So if we do that, and we have to do it in both places. And then we can actually, well, it should do it automatically, right? Oh, it didn't. If we do, yeah, because it's named. One thing about R, this is an R value, which means it's like a temporary or something that it's expected to be, the ownership is being transferred or moved. Something that, it means it comes in, the value of it comes in as an R value, but once you give it a name, the rule of thumb is it's no longer an R value when it arrives. It has a name. To turn it back into an R value, or basically to imply we're moving it or transferring ownership, you use standard move around it. Then when we mouse over the pushback, we can see it's using the R value pushback. The reason I'm doing all this stuff is it allows the compiler to avoid copying, because it's like, oh, it's a temporary being moved, so we don't have to make a copy, either when we push back into the vector here, or when we are passing it to message here, as long as I do move. And the other thing the compiler should do is, after the move, it should either compile or runtime warn you or error if you actually try to use it after. But since we're not using it after, it should be actually pretty good. So it makes it temporary and then explicitly moves it, and it moves it again. So if the compiler was really smart, it would only have one copy of the message that is built directly into the messages vector. Actually, it probably won't. It can't really be that smart because it's going through a interface here, through a virtual method. So, but it also gives the reader a clue that, hey, this API says you're gonna get a message and it's yours. You own it. It's not just like these were a constant reference to someone else's strings. You're actually getting a message info and it's yours. You know, you better consume it or it'll be destroyed. Anyway, that should be it for receiving messages. There we go. Now the last but not least is sending messages. Send a message. We have to be in a... Oh, you know what we should do? No, if this is sent, it doesn't matter if we join the room or not, actually, right? If the server tells us that, then hey, we're getting messages from the room, irrespective of joining. But I'm gonna keep the join in there to sort of be explicit that you're really supposed to join. Send is a different matter, though. We'll have to have two different sends. We'll have to say send message and send message when not in the channel. Because if you send the message when you're not in the channel, you're not gonna see it come back. Actually, I'm wondering, do you see messages that you send yourself? I don't think you do. Oh, maybe you do. I'm just looking off screens for a second. Sorry about that, but I want to confirm something. Sorry, just a moment. Sorry, maybe I can pull one of these samples on screen. It's hard to tell if I'm going to accidentally leak like private information, because I like logged all of the stuff going in and out when I was logged into Twitch before, and I don't want like stuff to get leaked. That makes sense? Let me see if I can pull. I can sanitize and verify that I'm not going to show something with personal info. Actually, I'm not seeing it happen. So let me go back to here. So when we send the message on all those logs that I have, it doesn't bounce back, so to speak, as coming from the channels. I think you only get this when someone else chats. So there's really no telling when you send a message. There's no telling if it actually went anywhere, as far as I know. Although maybe we can experiment with that later. So I don't know if we can say what to expect when we try to send a message when we're not in a channel. We'll have to experiment with that. I know what I'll do. Instead of putting it in the code, put it in my notebook. Okay, so need to experiment. What happens if we try to send a message to a channel we haven't joined? Like, I don't know, do we get back a response from the server saying, error, you're not on the channel, or do we get nothing? And then, so we'll do that experiment and then come back, and if we need our class to do something proper, then we'll do that. So right now, we'll just assume that they've joined the channel. Actually, no. We'll join the channel just to show the convention, but then when we do the send message, we'll include the channel name again. Because you can join multiple channels, and when you chat, you want to kind of say which channel you're directing it to. So send a message to the channel we just joined. That'll be user, oh no, not user, TMI dot, what is it? Just send. Or how about chat? I'm thinking, what is the right verb here? Send a message? Send message? And we don't include badge stuff or anything. We're just going to be the channel and the text, right? And then after we do that, it is similar to join. We're going to have to do a kind of a wait. Right? Wait line received. It will be priv message. That and then hello world, right? Okay, so send message. Let's add that. Log in, log out, join, leave. Send message. So it'll be to the channel and then the message. Copy, paste. This message sends a message. This method sends a message to a Twitch chat channel. This is the channel of the name to which to send the message. And so this is the content of the message to send. All right, so go to where leave is. Paste that. Whoops. I'm not too adept at the keyboard today. This is a messaging class. Okay. The action is send message. And what did I do to make all those red squigglies? Something here maybe? Oh. Semicolon. funny how like this. It's funny how the single missing semicolon here can like screw up like so much. And it doesn't even tell you where you missed a semicolon either. That's one of the irksome things people find about C++ that other languages that are more modern do it a little better job at detecting the source of the error. Hold on, I think I'm not missing chat, am I? Nope. Just very silent today. I bet no one's watching. Okay, send a message to a chat room. Well, to a channel. Okay, so that will compile and build, and we can run it and see that it fails. So it's not sending the message, and then we fix that by implementing it. Oh, I see. We will have to have another test, right? Actually, I copy pasted join to leave, and I didn't have a test to like what happens if you leave when you're not connected. Okay, yeah, we need to add some stuff. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, no, I just got confused. Let's reuse nickname. The channels are really the same as nicknames in Twitch. And then it's colon or space colon. And then the next action message. And then the character turn line feed. All right. And one thing we have to guard against is, well, not. It shouldn't be exploitable, but if the nickname has characters in it that aren't allowed for a channel name, like space, it'll end up sending an improperly formatted message. But the worst that could happen is you join a channel that's like the name is truncated, and there's an extra argument. And for sending a message, it's the same thing. It'll actually have too many arguments. And the server should just either error or ignore it. But that should do it for that. But I need to go back and add some extra tests for leaving or sending a message when you're not connected. Oh, still not right. It's still not receiving that message. Oh, probably because I didn't implement it. No, I did implement it, but I didn't get the message correct. There we go. Okay, that's what this said too, right? Oh, it was actually waiting for that exact line, and it got a line that was not exactly matching, and that's why it was just false. Okay, got it. All right, so let's add the missing tests too. Or hold on. I think I might have forgotten to check in previously, so we should go back and do that. Yeah, okay, I actually implemented a bunch of things and I forgot to check in. So we implemented leaving, receiving, and sending messages. So let's add that. So messaging, implement or add the ability to leave channels and send receive messages. Okay. And the tests I'm missing are like the join channel when not connected. We should have a leave channel when not connected. And we should also have a send message when not connected. The code already does the right thing. This is just to verify that. Verify that. That's right. Okay. Add extra, oh, this is messaging tests. Add extra tests to ensure proper behavior when not connected. Because that's too long. Okay, so add extra tests. Add extra sanity tests. Ensure the right thing is done if the user tries to leave the channel or send a message when not connected. Okay, cool. Getting to the point where we have enough in this class to do a bot. We just need to connect it to a real networking. So how am I doing on time? Do I want to attempt that today or waiting for the next time? It's 1 hour and 46 minutes in. What am I thinking of? Suppose we can get into it. I don't have any to-dos, right? No to-dos. Okay, let's do it. So do we want to make a library component and therefore have tests, or well, it was kind of complicated to do that last time. Let me see what was involved. We did this for the web server and client integration layers. It was in HTTP network transport tests. So what was involved there? I had to mock network connection. I guess it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I had to have... Okay, maybe not. Okay, actually the more appropriate one would be client. Did we end up having a network endpoint represent the server? Yeah, we did. That was in... Okay, there was a common one. Okay, maybe we can just model our code after that. So let's do that. So we'll establish a new component. Where's VS Code? I want the VS Code for that. So close these guys. Actually, you can close all this stuff. Ring. That's my computer, not yours. Sorry about that. I try to avoid those tones that people might think came from their own computer. I'm just thinking, where do I want to put it? Maybe at the, okay, well, I guess we'll just put it at the top level, so. Make directory, what do we want to call it? Twitch network connection? Yeah, we'll call it that. And then I'm going to totally rip off the contents of HTTP network transport because I'm going to model my stuff after that. Totally rip off my own code here. So this is Twitch network connection. This is a library which implements the Twitch connection interface needed by the, actually this can be quoted, Twitch messaging class in terms of the network a connection abstraction provided by the system abstractions library. That's exactly what it is. So we will call this, actually I kind of wanted it to be, can we just put it in the, no, not the Twitch namespace. This will be the namespace. What's the name of the class? Connection, I guess? There's a little bit of redundancy, but I think it's okay. I might actually want to rename that to be transport. Hey there, dude. Dude707. Why not using Python? My streaming the last couple of months has been in C++, and I use that a lot, so that's the reason why. There's already a pretty good guide about how to make a bot using Python. If you go to the Get Started guide, a bunch of people have already wrote this tmi.js. Actually, it's not Python, is it? Sorry. JavaScript. There's probably a Python equivalent. And yeah, I just prefer to C++, so you're in the C++ twilight zone today. You're watching me. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm making a library here. And if this class is going to use network connection abstraction, I kind of wanted another one for the WebSockets library. I guess what would I want to call this if I wanted it to be both network connections and WebSockets? How about we call it Twitch Transport? So Twitch Transport. Don't mind C++, but not efficient in terms of time. You mean time to code it or time to run it? I think either way kind of depends on the developer and the tools that you're using and how well the support you have. Time to code, yeah. It depends on the developer. I've seen people code really fast in one language and really slow in the other, and then someone who's the complete opposite. So, kind of depends. What did I do here? Oh. This is library which implemented network connection interface needed in terms of various underlying transport layer options, such as the network connection abstraction. So another one would be like the WebSockets. And yeah, I decided to rename this Twitch Transport. So yeah, it's sort of IRC, but there are some differences. The biggest thing I found is badges. This big string that they put in front of private messages or chat messages sent to a channel is technically illegal IRC syntax. If you look at the RFC, this is the prefix it's supposed to be. If it's there, it's supposed to be the first thing on the line. So this tags in front is illegal IRC. Now Twitch gets away with it, I think justifiably, by saying right up front that, where do they say it? Is it in overview? No, it's not an overview. Guide, I think. It generally follows, right? And there are several cases where it behaves slightly differently. And they don't go out and say it here, but the tags is one example of where it goes against IRC. And I think the way that they technically did that is you're supposed to negotiate the tags capability in order to get those, badges, tags in front of the messages. No clue programs some chatbot on a stream in Python, no clue. You don't use any badges, no clue. Don't really care about how to implement much anything, only messages and private messages. Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, this kind of threw me for a while. When it says, this made me think it was a whisper since it's private message, but it turns out all the non-private messages sent to a channel go through this. Whispers are different. So when you receive a whisper, it's whisper, not private message. And when you send a whisper, it's by sending a public message to the JTV channel, which has a special form. So, yeah, interesting little tidbits of knowledge. Need to request some stuff first. Well, yeah, if you mean, how does your bot get authorized? They handled that up here, where is it, in the guide? Getting started? Yeah, okay, the setup. I think I talked about this 2 streams ago, and I already did this step, and I'll be referring to the token or the passphrase. And yeah, you have to get an OAuth token for your bot in order to be both identified and authorized to join chat. It's on GitHub. All the code that I'm writing today is on GitHub, and I think also the TMI.js stuff is on GitHub as well. So if you either look at where is it? Where this is on GitHub, I think it is, or my code, it should look pretty similar, hopefully. You already did it. Let's take a look. Yeah. Join. Yep, here's the capability. Although this technically isn't correct because you didn't say cap, what is it, ls? You didn't get the list, right? Because what I read in, where is it? Here is, where exactly does it say that? The client should send an ls subcommand to solicit a list of all capabilities. If the client issues ls subcommand, sub-registration must be suspended until an end is received. So I think the way I interpret this is technically you're supposed to start out with that. And then my experience in looking how text chat worked was, do I have that log still? Let me see. I think I got rid of it, but let me bring it back. I think I can show that much. I'll just obscure my OAuth token. How about that? So, I might be wrong, but this is what I interpret to be the minimum of what you're supposed to do. Cap ls, and then you're supposed to, you don't have to, I suppose, but you should, I guess, wait to see that the capabilities are offered, and then you request the capability, and then you're supposed to say end. And then, actually, this is an extra line. So, I didn't see your code do that. I'm actually interested to know if, is this technically incorrect, but it works anyway because their API is forgiving, or am I not understanding it that you're supposed to do the cap end and cap ls? No clue, but it also took you some time to work it out. Yeah, I think probably either way, it's not that important, right? As long as it works. Where you might get into trouble, I guess, is if Twitch were to change the names or remove some of these caps, and since your code didn't get a list of the caps first, it'll request a cap that doesn't exist. And you might not see that because your code's not checking to see if it got that cap, right? Where do you handle receiving the messages? I'm not seeing that. Oh, right here. At least you're handling ping and sending pong. I still need to do that. I forgot about that. If you don't do that, you can get disconnected. I would recommend not doing HTTP, by the way, because it's not secure. Should always be using HTTPS, even for these API calls. So just a suggestion. Looks pretty good otherwise, though. I'd say if it works for you, that's great. I guess I tend to get a little nitpicky about things I notice. Don't want to spam people. Oh, there are limitations. Yeah. Yeah, that was in the, I noticed that in the documentation as well, right? They show that pretty upfront in the guide, I think it was. There are limits to how many messages you can send. And you can get the limits raised if it's a verified or known bot, and then you fill out a form for that, right? Yep, the limit increase form. Oh, by the way, I found out you have to fill out this form just to get chat login scope. So if anyone's watching and they wanted to make a bot that can log into chat, this takes a couple days to do. So you would want to get this out of the way up front so you're not sitting waiting for Twitch to get back to you. All right. Yeah, I forgot to do the ping and pong, so maybe I was in the middle of adding this Twitch transport. I'll finish up with the README and then I'll go quickly do the ping thing. So actually, I don't know if I want to do various transport layer options. I'll just say in terms of the network connection abstraction layer. Actually, if I was calling it HTTP network transport, maybe I'll call this Twitch network transport as well. And then it matches the name network connection. Right. It's basically an adapter to implement Twitch connection using an underlying network connection. And they're always connection-oriented mode. Object. Okay. So yeah, I already wrote... Oh, I didn't even quote that correctly. I already wrote a class called System Abstractions Network Connection, and that's just a pretty thin wrapper around sockets. So this class I'm about to write is going to be an adapter between this pure interface and a socket wrapper. And that should be enough for us to actually make real network connections to the Twitch server and then test our bot with it. So I said I was going to finish the README and then take a step back and go back into Visual Studio and add the ping stuff. Let's do that. So, oh, hold on. I got to take a short break because of a phone call. Sorry about that. That was a phone call. All right, so ping. I think we're only going to worry about receiving ping, so I don't need to have two pings, like one for receiving, one for sending. It's going to be similar to receive message, I think. At least to start with. Where was receive message? Oh, I'm in the totally wrong class. I don't even know how I got here. I should be over in messaging tests. Close these guys. Messaging tests. Here we are. Ping. So receive message. Yes. So log in and join a channel. I guess it doesn't really matter if we join a channel though. How about we just log in? Have the pretend Twitch server simulate a ping message. So return, and then I'm gonna just cheat and look at the guide again, where they talk about the ping. Where was that? Search, ping. There we go. Okay, so there's going to be... We should just send that, right? Wait for... Okay, right. So... Why did I type that? I should have just gone to here and done this. Okay, wait for... the user agent to respond with a Pong message. Corresponding Pong message. It's supposed to repeat what we send, so I'm wondering if I should... And I know what I'll do. I'll have it send two different pings. And I won't follow the Twitch convention. It's supposed to be pretty generic, so if we say, like, hello, are you there? It's supposed to respond back, right? Exactly those. So how do we wait for that? What could we await? Nickname line receipt. Ah, I think I'll use that. Await line receipt. Yes. We will assert wait line receive pong, and we'll just wait for the second one. That will verify, guarantee that we get, if it, as long as this happens, we should get both of them, and we'll confirm that by doing this. And okay, but before we do that though, let's say log in and then clear the receipt lines buffer. Clear lines receipt, and then we're going to wait for these exact strings. So this is the second one. The first one is just pong hello. Right, so build. We're going to verify that that runs but doesn't work because it's not sending the pong. Now we got to fix it. But actually it should be pretty simple. It will be in when we handle receiving a ping. I'm going to put it near the front because it's fairly global. Say if the message is ping, we're going to expect one parameter, right? And the parameter, yeah, just expect one parameter is fine. If we don't get at least one parameter, we will just ignore the ping. And I don't think I would care about testing that. And this will be what? There is no prefix. It's the first parameter is, what do they call it? Good question. What's the thing associated with the ping called? Hold on, I know someone chatted. Putin Roaster, are you familiar with Lagrangian mechanics? Nope. What's that? Lagrangian mechanics. I mean, it looks familiar. It looks somewhat familiar because I did some graphics programming. But this looks a lot deeper in math than I'm used to. So I don't know if I'd be able to help out with anything with that. Yeah, sorry. A little bit beyond me. What specifically can't you figure out? Maybe someone else in chat can. Or I can look it up later. Ping. So, yeah, I was looking up to see what is that called. It's just a message? Blah, blah, blah. It's a parameter. Daemon. They call it a parameter. They call it server 1, server 2, daemon 1, daemon 2 here. Huh. Then what does Twitch say the ping is? Oh, it really is the server name. I get it. So I guess we will call it the server. And then what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to not join, but send back. Send back something. Where do we send back stuff? This connection send. If actually we should verify that we have a connection. So if the connection is not null pointer, Then we'll send a pong plus server. How to do exercises using the Lagrangian and finding the generalized coordinates of the given system. Well, yeah, that's a bit general. I think your best bet is to find a, like if it's in a class, do you have a, what do they call them? Teacher, a TA, teacher's aide who can help you look at specific exercises. I think what you need to find is either someone in your class or someone who teaches that, maybe in online, who can help you out with a specific example exercise. And then once you do an example or two with a guide, with a tutor of some kind, you'll probably get it. But yeah, I don't think I can help because it's a little, that kind of math is a little bit beyond me. Sorry to say. Okay, so this should, when it receives a ping, send a pong back. Let's see if it does it now. Interesting, it didn't quite work. Didn't quite work. But we're not getting enough information. It never got that message. But so I'm gonna do a little trick here, where if it fails, we can print out some extra stuff. So I would like to print out what this is. Oh, it won't let me do that. Shoot. How about we say size? Need Linux anyway? Can't work under Windows? I don't know. I've been working under Windows pretty well today. Okay, it didn't receive any messages, so I guess my ping isn't quite working. Did I not format this correctly? Ping. Okay, I'm curious what's going on. So what I'm going to do is set a breakpoint here and start the debugger. All right. And then I will put a breakpoint inside of the ping to see if it ever hits that. Okay, it never does. So for some reason the command isn't even getting received correctly. So what we'll do is we'll rerun it, and this time where this process message received is called, we'll catch that. The raw text is ping hello, character return line feed ping, are you there? Okay, so it should get to that, at least that part in here. Okay, it got there. Okay, maybe get next message isn't parsing correctly. So data received, it's got 2 lines. Okay, it got 1 line, the ping hello. Let's see what happens here. What state does it end up in? 1. Oh, it's still in state 1 for some reason. It still thinks it's in the prefix. It shouldn't have, though. That was weird. Let's try again. Ping hello. So. Oh, that's a bug. Look at that. I don't have any code in there. If it's not the prefix, it should have... It will be the... it should go to state 3. Because if it's not the prefix, it's the first letter of the command. That was a bug. Try again. Still not right. Okay, well, let's see what we're getting now. Ping, and then... Okay, goes to state 3. Next thing. Oh, okay, we forgot this part. not only go to state 3, but it's got to put that character into the command. Okay. Try again. Okay, good. Now it's working. Excellent. So that was a bug I had. I guess I didn't have any messages from the server that didn't have a prefix, and so it didn't actually catch that bug. Why don't you use enums for state numbers? Yeah, I was talking about that yesterday, that I was just being lazy in using numbers. If I can break out of my laziness, I would make an enum class. I think as penalty for having a bug there, I should suffer the penalty of going through right now and making an enum. How about that? So this is a local state machine, so I can have a local type. This is actually in this state here. This tracks the current state of the state machine used in this function to parse the raw text of the message. Need to sleep anyway, we'll have a good sleep. Yeah, sometimes I generally start lazy, but then as a refactoring or code improvement, especially if someone points it out, which is always appreciated, I will stop and say, okay, yeah, you're right, I need to give them names. So we'll do that. So it says enum class state, and then we're going to give names. So this will be first character. All right. And I think I have to prefix this with that. Yes. I'm not going to bother documenting the names. I think I'm going to try to just pick names which are self-documenting. So what will this state be? Prefix. Okay. State 2. Command first character. I should probably be specific about first character. This will be line first character and command first character, and then command not first character. How about that? This is not first character, and that was here. Here it's first character. This is line first character, which also needs to go here. Okay, and this 3 is now not first character. 4, what do we call that? First character a parameter. So parameter first character. State 4. And then 5. Parameter not last, or last having no spaces. So this is parameter not first character. Okay, I'm thinking of a name, but it's going to be too long, so I need a shorter name. It's not it's a parameter. It's not the last, or it's the last having no spaces. I think I'll call last parameter trailer. I'll give it a special term. So this would be just parameter. Parameter not first character. Okay. So that is formally known as state 5. And state 6 is trailer. That was 6, 5. 4 was parameter first character. How come I'm getting... Oh, because I haven't added trailer to the list. Hey there, Playing with Scissors. How's it going? When are you going to stream Botland again? I want to watch. I am just paying the penalty having a bug in this code because of being lazy about naming the states in my state machine. I'm paying it off by giving them names now. So there we go. All my states have names. How come the IntelliSense is not catching up? So there we go. Do I stream Botland? I streamed it twice now. Is that what you're asking? I'm thinking about doing that semi-regularly now. Maybe once every week or so. Just stream a little bit more learning Botland. Second monitor, I think, is a must when you're streaming, because like your off-screen monitor has like all the stuff that might have personal info on it, right? What did I say? Oh, I was talking about Botland at first. I was wondering if you were going to stream Botland, because you streamed it a long time ago, but I missed it. I didn't catch the VOD, and then the VOD disappeared. And I don't know. I was having fun playing Botland, and I've streamed it twice now. But I'm interested in watching other people either work with the scripts or look set up hardware. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I was just interested if you were going to stream Botland sometime in the future. I'd like to watch that. Otherwise, that's fine. Okay, I think I'm good with the state machine now. I want to make sure I didn't break anything by rerunning my tests. Cool, and I should check that in now. Twitch. You have a different browser so you don't leak personal info. I should do that too. Like, I don't think it's too bad. I have like some popular stuff that I use, so people can figure out that I play World of Warcraft. Also, like if I go to YouTube, like I did a couple days ago when I was looking at Adam's little walkthrough video, I noticed afterwards on the right it was showing like suggested videos, and it's like, oh, okay, people are gonna know I play World of Warcraft. I'm like, that's okay. So hopefully I'm not not really leaking anything having this stuff. But yeah, I've thought about using a different browser as well, just to be extra safe. Yeah, the Jira, I was using Jira to work with my brother on keeping track of issues on some hobby stuff. And I guess I could use GitHub too, but I was used to using Jira from my last job. They used it quite a lot there. Okay, so we did two things here. We added, I'll just do this first. This was adding ping. And then this was my penalty for having a bug here. Here was the bug. It used to just do nothing in the else, and I needed to have those two lines. So first things first, this commit messaging support ping echo pong. And then this one is messaging give names to states. And what was that method called? Get next message. And fix bug. The bug down here. The bug was that if a message lacked a prefix, the first, actually, it would just completely misinterpret the message. Yeah, well, I actually forgot to do ping. So I'll show you what I have done. I was actually getting ready to integrate it with my socket stuff. Why am I getting a long lag on pushing? I don't know. So if I go to the tests and I collapse all my tests, so I have all this done, so we can log into chat, log out. We test logging in when we're already logged in, failure to connect. If we receive an extra message of the day, if login fails, no message of the day, unexpected disconnect, join channel, leave channel, receive message, send message. So it's minimal what my bot needs. So I was going to move on to actually connecting it to sockets, and then I realized, oh, I forgot ping. So really, ping should have been first, and I ended up doing it last. Hold on a sec. I might have to set an end to my stream because I'm supposed to go somewhere at 3:45. Okay, so I need to wrap it up in the next 15 minutes, unfortunately. So I probably won't get much into it, but I was just going to work on the next part of this, which was connecting it to sockets. That was here. So yeah, I had the README done. We're going to make a Twitch network transport connection, which adapts a system abstractions network connection to fit this interface. And I was modeling it off of another library, so this old library, so I made a copy and I'm renaming stuff. So this was that, now it's Twitch network transport. And this is just connection. There's no server side because we're not writing a Twitch server. Not unless Twitch hires me, I guess. And it's going to be based off of Twitch and system abstractions. That's the two things we're integrating in this library. And test has its own stuff here. Twitch, so it's just this part I need to rename. This will just be connection tests. This looks good, although S comes for 4T. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish this class now because I got to wrap it up, but I'll at least do the renaming and I'm going to delete the server stuff. Sorry about the extra Windows noises. That's only, okay, one more. Sorry about that. I have in my back of my head this reminder I need to go back and either mute those sounds or pick different sounds. Connection tests, and this will be connection, and this will just be connection as well. And this will be Twitch network transport. Yeah, that's a Windows 10 alert message. So if you're not on Windows, then you won't have recognized it. Okay, this is Twitch. This module contains the unit. Okay, completely got that wrong. Connection. Oh, this, because I got this wrong. This is not right either. Connection. Okay, that's there. All right. I think I will not concern myself with the body of any of this stuff yet. I'll do that next stream. Yeah, okay, I'll leave this stuff here for now, as is, and I'm just going to do the renaming today. This is Twitch network transport. Use the terminal to remove files. It feels safer, even though I've messed up once or twice. Yeah. RM-RF star. Adam Nuke, right? Careful now. Okay. Collapse that. Oh, that hurts. Deleted a repository and forgot to save the config file. Ooh. It's better than like not using a repository and just copying your folders around and then accidentally deleting it all. That actually happened at my last work. A lot of people didn't even use version control. It was really sad. Okay, this is renamed to Twitch. And this part gets renamed to connection. This, I'm not as good as a lot of people at using VS Code yet. Had to set it up all again, going back to logs on Slack from March. Oh, hey there, Remy. Or is it Ramy? Remy or Ramy? Lead developer here. Lead developer here. Ramy, okay. So how did you guys like Adam's piano stuff? Did you catch that this morning? I thought it was really cool. I wish I was so multi-talented. And here, I'll make the effort of changing that to Twitch. And this is connection. Lead devs don't look at explosions. They have the junior devs handle that, right? And unfortunately, I gotta wrap up because I have to take my son to football in like 10 minutes. So actually, there's a little bit of a chicken and egg problem, so to speak. He's not even home from school yet. How am I supposed to take him to football if he's not home yet? A little bit of an issue there. He'll probably be late. Yeah, but as soon as he walks in, I'm gonna have to take him. So need to wrap this up. Probably continue Monday, if not this weekend. Take the football to him. Yeah, I wish. All right. As far as the renaming goes, I think I'm done. Oh, I will. Will I check this in yet? I'm not going to check it in yet. I'm just going to save this as work in progress. Oh, hi, SourceFi. Hello and goodbye. Are you on your way out, or are you saying bye because I'm on my way out? I can keep going. It's just if he comes home in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to say, see ya. I got to leave, but so it might be a little bit of a quick finish. I'll continue going until then, though. How about that? Or and maybe in the meantime, is there someone else that we want to go watch? Too bad Adam doesn't stream this late on a Friday. Need to figure out how to help him get de-stressed, I think. He would normally be streaming now, right, for another hour, and then that I've heard that before too. Maybe we'll host him. Is he going right now? Simulate. How do you say that? Simuleos? He might be finishing up though too. Yeah, Adam thinks that my voice sounds like Casually Explained. What do you guys think? Have you heard of Casually Explained? I don't think I sound like him, but I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up because hey, all my tests pass, right? Good stopping point. Okay, I'm gonna off screen here. I'm gonna go look and see what's going on in his stream. If I could spell it right. Simuleos. Okay, I'll give you guys a link. We're gonna go say hi to him, I think. If I spelled it right, let me quadruple check. Did I spell it right? Looks like it. So let's all go say hi to him. Thanks for coming by. I'm sorry that a lot of you are coming in right when I have to go to football, but I'll see you guys either on Adam's stream or next time I stream, all right? And I want to see Playing with Scissors stream Botland or Rami or anyone else. Love to see you guys play because I'll maybe pick up something and not be such a scrub. So see you guys next time.